Hey guys, Jolene here from Decor. Welcome to the studio. Today I'm going to teach you how to sew one of these farmhouse rugs. They call them JellyRoll rugs as well. So on this side of the studio, this is where I have all the finished products lined up. Obviously getting ready for Christmas market. So I am packed in here pretty tight and, tons of towels, dish towels, etc. So I just wanted to give you a quick look around so that you know who I am and what I'm doing. And I've got some extra lights set up today, although not my flashlight. So basically, we're going to start one of these rugs. And one of my best tips is I know that you can see them when they're rolled up into balls on some of these instructions. And I absolutely don't roll my fabric strips that I've sewn into balls. And this video here, I'm just going to show you how to create the rug so that it's super flat and you don't get any twists in it. But I do have another complete tutorial on the rug from start to finish on the channel as well, so check that out. And I am just going to show you the real deal here. This is a hot mess in this office here right now, and I'm okay with it because I know I'm going to have a busy Christmas market season, and my view from my desk looks like this with all the finished product. It doesn't generally look like the big hot mess of my workstation. So there's my workstation there. I'm not too worried about it. Okay, so let's get right into it. And this will be recorded for, later purposes or whatever. And so I'm just going to show you guys. I've got everything set up right here, ready to go. I've got a new jeans needle in the machine. So that's your 116 needle. I like the Schmetz brand. And on the JellyRoll Rug tutorial, there's a link to all of the supplies, including the machine and cutters and everything. And if you can shop through the links, that really helps me out because I'm an affiliate for some of these products. So go ahead and do that. You're not obligated to, but thank you if you do. And I'm just going to get started right away here and teach you guys how to make this rug. So there was a sip of my coffee. Okay. So basically what I do is I've got my strips here, and I'm going to show you even how to get this started. As you can see, one color turns into a new color. I like my rugs to be fairly even in the centerpiece. And by what I mean by that is I don't want this new color starting halfway through, right on the center of it. So I'm going to turn my rug so I've got my puffy side to the right hand side. And then I'm going to give this a twist here so that this folded side is stuck up against the puffy side, and the puffy side is now always going to be out. And I'm just going to give this a little pinch here to see. And then I'm going to twist it one more time and pull the fabric up here and just see if this lines up, because I want it to be 3 pieces. And you can see here that there's a little overhang. So I'm just going to go back, adjust the first one to be a wee bit longer, and line it up again just to see. Yeah, see, so now that's pretty good. We've got 3 pieces. It doesn't have to be perfect, but this is how I want it to start. So once again, you're going to make sure on the first piece that the folded side is to the left and the puffy side is going to be to the right. And that way we're always sewing onto the puffy piece. So this is going to be the side that goes into the machine. So we're going to feed. Did I do this wrong? Here we go. The puffy side first. Okay, there we go. The puffy side is going to be on the right every time, and the sewn side is going to be on the left. And so this way, the rug is going to grow this way. It's not going to grow into the throat of the machine. So it's always going to get wider on this side and not get wider on this side. Okay, so I have my machine set to zigzag, and I put it on the widest width I can. And this is a Singer heavy duty machine. This is a Singer that I recommend for this project. It's got a lot of power for not a lot of money. It's a couple $100 on Amazon. And I can put a link in the video description if you want one of these. So basically what you're going to do as you're sewing is you want to make sure no matter what, you catch this underside folded part. So it needs to be pushed up tight against the puffy part or the unsewn part, and it needs to stay that way the entire time. So as I'm sewing, I always make sure that my needle is just to more to the right hand side than it is to the left hand side. I know each machine is a little bit different. Their stitch width can be extended on some machines, but you basically want to make sure that you've caught the top edge of the fold and the bottom edge of the fold no matter what, all the way around. So how I get it going is I always back up to start. So I drop my feed dogs and I've got it on the zigzag. And the reason I don't start right here is because often there's too much material right at the very top and the machine just doesn't want to pull it through and you end up getting a pulled thread. So, and I also don't want it to go back and forth 3 times and have the extra thread there 3 times. I just want to have it a nice clean start. So I put it in just past where this is bulky here, and I hit my reverse button and I go back just nice and slow. Okay, so you can see as I'm sewing here, and if you can't, I'm gonna zoom in here really quick, just so you can see. The needle is always more to the right hand side as I'm sewing. So where the fold is to the left of the presser foot, and the needle is more to the right hand side. And you can also change your needle position if you want to the right. But I just like the way that it sews, and I've done so many of them now that I know where I need my fold to be to make sure that I've got both top and bottom of this opening sewn through for the whole time. Okay, so we've got our start here, and we'll maybe just see if we can zoom in a little bit. There we go. Okay, so this is my very first live on YouTube. Yay! And I didn't dress up or anything for it. I just came home from my actual job and decided, okay, today's the day. I'm gonna go live. We're gonna see what happens. See if we can get things going here. And of course the bobbin here has decided to mess up right away. Of course, because it's my first live ever, right? So something's going to mess up. Okay, so just if ever you're out of bobbin thread on this one, on this particular project, don't worry about it. Just restart. Make sure everything's wound in properly. There's a lot of bulk on these, and they do take some practice. And I always tell people it's kind of like driving a car. You need to get in there and figure out how you're going to make your turns, you know, go slow around the corners, that kind of stuff, and you'll get it figured out. Oh, and this bobbin has totally messed up. So there we go. I've threaded a whole bunch of bobbins ahead of time for this project today. So I did that last night. So we'll just retry. Sometimes that happens. Okay, so we're just going to start again. Just past where we ended off. You can trim the little ends off in a minute if you want. Go back a little bit and then go forward. So I find that the start of the rug and the end of the rug are what are the problems. And I know a lot of videos don't show you this part, but this is how I do it. I've never taken a class on it other than watching videos on YouTube. So the idea basically came to me from my auntie's house. She had a rug, and I thought, oh geez, I really want to try to make these. Okay, so when I come down to the very first corner, how the rug goes is you have to have this puffy side flat everywhere. So when you come down to the corner, if you put more pressure on the inside and less pressure on the outside, you're going to be able to kind of gather the fabric up nice and slow and make a rounded up corner. So push on the inside, leave the outside. None of them are going to be perfect ever at the start row. So just go, I mean, insanely slow. and turn the fabric as you go. And push on the inside. So you can see when I push, if I pull it here, it all puckers or pulls taut here, and we don't want that. We want it to be nice and smooth around that corner. So it's kind of the same theory, like, you know, when you're sewing and you've got like a sleeve or something and you make those little clips around the corner to ease the fabric in. We're doing this without clipping the fabric. We're just doing it with our fingers. We're gently pushing it around the corner. So put in an extra stitch if you need to. You're going to push, 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 and off we go to the races. We can go on this straightaway. So if you're new here, I'm Jolene. I'm from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and I run Home Stitchery Decor, and I sell in local stores and farmers markets. And then I do all this free tutorials on my products on YouTube. And I have affiliate links that I use for all the shopping. So I try to get quality products and then, you know, basically spill the tea on the products themselves, where I'm getting them from, and how you guys can get your own. So please, if you like it, I mean, subscribe to the channel. And I am going to try to do some lives here frequently. So, you know, make sure you hit the bell button and subscribe, and then it'll tell you when I'm going to go live. Maybe even try to do it on a schedule, but I do have Christmas markets in the next couple of weeks, so I'm kind of sewing like a mad woman here right now. So I don't want to overcommit. Okay, so once again, you see if you just pull this, it's all going to pucker and, you know, fold up here. So just give it a little push, and that'll lay all this part down flat. So push on the inside and ease that fabric around the corners. Putting a back stitch if you need to. And make sure that you're catching the top and bottom of this folded part. And that's just by sewing it a little left of center, I guess is the way to put that. So see, we've come up to this first row here. And I mean, it's not perfectly flat, but with a little bit of encouragement, this thing is going to lay down flat. And we're going to see if I can get this rug, this entire rug sewn with no ironing. Let's see if that can happen. And when you're new, you're going to iron this. You can iron every couple of rows until you get used to it. And I highly recommend using Best Press. So that's Best Press. You can get it on Amazon or at your local quilt store. There's several fragrances of it. And I'll put a link in the show description as well. And the needle I'm using is a Schmetz 116 jeans needle. Okay, so as you can see here, we've got a little bit of it folding up this way, and we've got a little bit of a shredding thread situation here at the needle, which can happen when you're, you know, sewing this thick of material. So just, if that happens, just clip it off, pull out any junk. Some thread is more prone to do that than others. And especially at the start of it, when we're going super slow, starting and stopping, it'll do that. Okay, so again, just start just where you stopped. Put in a few back stitches. And then as the corner is coming up, we're going to start easing the fabric in just by pushing on the inside of it. And I know this can be the hard part. The first few rows go pretty good, you know, people are slow and everything, but I think what happens is when you're a new rug maker, you get the first rows going, you know, you're super careful, you're super slow at it, you're letting the machine do all the work, And then as you get to the 4th, 5th, 6th row, you realize, oh gosh, this is a lot of work. And you start wanting to speed up the process. And by doing so, you end up pushing or pulling or having tension on your feeding in fabric. So you don't want to do that. And that is why I keep this pile of fabric in a hamper next to me. I don't roll this up into a ball because when you roll the fabric up into a ball, you're actually stretching it in different directions. And then, of course, your rug's not going to lay flat. By the time you got it rolled up into a ball, and then you come back 3 days later and decide that you want to sew a rug with your ball of rolled up fabric, you've already taught the fabric that you want it to go any other way than flat. And for these rugs, you absolutely want them to be flat. So pushing on the inside, easing up on the outside. And you can, push your finger down on here and make sure that you're actually pushing up on the inside here. So I think sometimes when we're doing these tutorials, we make the process harder than it has to be. And it's really not that hard. It does take practice. I have done hundreds of them now, and I really do recommend the Singer Heavy Duty for them. It's a really basic machine. It's got, I think it's got 11 stitches on mine. And pretty much the only thing I use it for is straight stitch and zigzag stitch. I have other machines here that I do fancy stitches with. But this Singer with the steel shank is, it's still a good machine for the money. I don't want to say too much bad about Singer in case they sponsor me one day. But I really do like this steel shank machine, and that is still in the heavy duty version of their machines. So if you're thinking of doing these rugs as a business and you're looking for an affordable machine, shop through my link on Amazon and pick yourself up one of these, and then you can just follow along easily. I mean, by all means, if you have any questions about the machine, leave them in the comments on the video here, and that will get shown to me, and I can always give you my feedback actually on it. Not that I guess at this point I kind of am an expert on this business of mine, and wear all the hats, call myself the CEO or Queen Creator. Little pretentious, but hey, why not own that stuff? All right, so once again, here we are at the corner. We've got a little puff here, so we're going to push it down. We're going to push up the center. We're going to let this side lay down flat. Pretty soon, we're just going to go round and round here. Pretty soon, this isn't going to be necessary. And how exciting is that? I really kind of want to prove to you guys too that you actually don't need to iron. And iron and steam and iron and steam and iron. I mean, it's great to steam and iron if you, are having an issue. But sometimes, for me, I find it's easier if I have no issue on one row and an issue on the next row. I absolutely just stop, rip it out, iron that other section flat, let the rug cool completely. So even if that means leaving it for an hour or two, and then I come back and start again. And what I found too is that if you watch my JellyRoll Rug tutorial from the start to finish, you'll see that I use my own batting. I use Pellon batting, and I use the thickest one I can find, and I cut it into the strips myself. I find that for me it works better than the thinner batting. I have fewer problems, and so I actually buy my batting right at Fabricland because I'm in Canada, and it's the one that you get for $180 in a bag. So it's like on a half bolt with plastic wrap on it, and they always have it on sale. You know, like they cycle their sales, so it's 50% off every other month, and then I go in and buy, you know, 6 bolts at a time. Just because of the volume of stuff that I'm making. Obviously, I need to have the volume of batting. And then the other thing I do is I just absolutely, oh, see, I've gone off here, which is good. I wanted to show you this part anyway. So this is a happy accident. Okay, so, you know, you get talking and then you go off a little bit. So I didn't catch this edge at all. I'm just going to rip it out if I can find my... If I can find Jack here. Come on, Jack. Where are you? Jack! Come back, Jack! And whenever I can't find Jack, I can always just pull it out with these super sharp Fiskars scissors, which I absolutely love. These are so sharp, these little suckers. So don't cut the fabric. But I don't want a whole bunch of like extra back and forth if I don't have to. So I'll pull that out and just start again. Yeah, so actually what I was saying, why I went off track here and, you know, sewed off the line. Don't buy cheap fabric. It doesn't work. If you're looking for a deal and you're thinking like the $2 discounted flimsiest cotton fabric that you can find at the back of the store is gonna, you know, help you start your small business or keep you from crying when you're making your first JellyRoll rug, you're pretty much wrong. And I know, because I tried. Like when I first started, of course, I'm bootstrapped, right? Every single thing I do is money out of my own pocket. I need to sell stuff to make money. Although I'm doing much better now. I actually just had my first 5-figure quarter, so that's exciting. So on to 6 figures. But basically, don't buy cheap fabric. It just makes you miserable. You can't do it. It twists and turns, and it doesn't lay flat, and you can see the batting in it, and your thread gets cut off in it, and it's a terrible thing to do. But just spend the extra few dollars and get yourself some decent material. So one of the places I like to get material from is fabric.com, and they do have a lot of really yucky material. So make sure that, you know, go with brands that you know. Try to find Riley Blake and, you know, see what she's got in stock. She's always a great, their stuff is just fantastic. They produce really good quality. So you can try there. And another one that I love is Missouri Star. I often order jelly rolls from Missouri Star, even though for the most part, I buy fabric in bulk and then I cut it myself with my AccuQuilt cutter, which I can put a link into, I guess, for you. But the AccuQuilt cutter, I have the studio version, and you can basically cut out shapes of any size and style. They've got some great tutorials online. And basically what it is a rolling cutting machine, and it's got steel plate dies that you lay the fabric on top, and then you put a piece of plastic protector on top and then roll it through a machine, and it comes out perfectly cut. So it's fantastic. Okay, so this might actually be the last row that I have to squishy on. So very little squishing is happening here on the inside, and I'm calling this part the inside and this part the outside. So round and round and round we go. What else can I tell you guys about? Okay, so, well, I guess the AccuQuilt machine. So I have the studio version, which comes with larger templates, and I have a 2.5-inch strip die, which is how I cut the strips, which are these. I can also cut my batting on it. So with the studio one, I can cut out an entire rug in one pass of the AccuQuilt. And if you want to see a video on it, I guess I made a video on it as well, just to show you how they work. And not only can you cut strips of fabric, but they have all kinds of templates for different shapes. So it's a great little, you know, if you're looking to get into quilting and you really want to invest some time and money into your supplies and make things a little bit easier for yourself, I highly recommend AccuQuilt for their products for that. You can get dyes right on Amazon, and you can also get them from AccuQuilt.com. So when I start getting low on my bobbin, I like to pull it out. I don't like the bobbin to get to the point that it's going to pull on any of the fabric or do anything weird. So I'm just going nice and slow, and if I see, you know, a little section isn't, you know, pulling in just quite as perfect as I would like it, I'm going to slow down and just guide things with my fingers. But for the most part now, we are just going to do this sit and forget it, and I have to move my video camera back a little bit because, as you can see, the rug is growing to the left, and I need a little bit of room because my camera there is on a tripod. So you can see how perfectly flat this rug is, and I have been live the entire time. I haven't paused the video, and this rug is going to come out perfectly flat. So I believe it's a combination of the machine, the good quality material, good quality thread. I put a brand new needle in, the Schmetz 116 jeans needle, and the batting that I use, and the fact that I'm not rushing anything. You don't see me pushing or pulling really anything. I'm just guiding the material along. I've got my like my stitch count here pretty steady on the pedal, and I'm just letting the machine do its thing. And another like important part of having this fabric in the hamper next to me is I never have any tension on that. So if I'm going along and I'm sewing and I'm feeling this part pull, it's going to reflect here, and then it's going to twist up over here. So I make sure that this hamper of fabric, everything here is loosey-goosey. You know, I pull a few feet over, a few feet of the feet and stuff over, lay it on my knee, and then I start to sew again. So we're almost getting to the part of the bobbin that I like to change out. And, you know, if there's a little bit of thread left on it, I just use it for piecing later on, putting the strips together, which are in the JellyRoll Rug tutorial video, where I do it, I start the rug from the actual piecing part of it. But nobody's ever actually seen me sew a rug straight. And I know there's a lot of tips on stuff on it. And I really just, I don't know, I felt like I had some value to add to the sewing world here by creating a live stream of this. And I mean, if they go well, I can do them all the time. So it's no skin off my nose. I'm sewing the rug anyway. All right, so we've got a new bobbin. So keeping your machine oiled and cleaned out and everything with this much batting going through it, that's important as well. If you want to try, you know, clean out your bobbin area, oil the machine and everything before you start this part of it after you've sewn all the strips with the batting, that's also a good idea. And that way you don't have a bunch of fluff and everything, you know, anything in the bobbin area kind of impeding your stitches. So we're just going to go slow and steady, round and round. So once again, if you haven't seen my products before, I do have a website. Lots of times there's things listed for sale on there, but as I entered into the Christmas market season, I put all my stock on my website at 0, just because I needed, frankly, to catch up. And to also make sure I had enough stock for Christmas markets, as this is my, it's my second year doing the Millerville Christmas Market, which is in just outside of Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And it's a huge Christmas market, so I do need a lot of stock for that. But basically my business is only a couple years old too. So as I've been learning and growing, of course I make, you know, better products, and I figure out more efficient ways to do them and try to get myself into markets that meet with my demographic so that I'm selling more products. But I'm also working on the digital side of things, like the website, having affiliate links for things that I make. I have all kinds of my own digital patterns for Cricut or Cameo silhouette machines. So, you know, just, tune into the channel here, hit subscribe, hit the bell button, and, you know, like and comment. That really does help us makers out. Like, literally it does, like more than you know. Every time somebody comments, gives a thumbs up, tells a friend about us, that's just one more way that we can get seen and then, you know, help grow our business, because goodness knows with all of the stuff that's gone on with COVID and the economy and, you know, oil, because I live in Calgary, Alberta, and this has drastically affected our economy here in Calgary, Alberta. So some of us are just trying to do other things to make money. And it just so happens that I love to sew. So I started doing this. This is going to be a big rug. So if you want to skip to the end, I promise I won't stop the live video. So basically you can see, I can prove to you, if that's even necessary, that you can sew one of these rugs perfectly flat. And like I said, the beginning is hard, and then the end is going to be hard too, to make sure that there's no waves in it. The middle part is the easy part. It's just slow and steady, round and round. My cousin was actually getting married, and I asked her mom what colors she had in her house, and her mom told me that she had teal and black. So that's how I ended up getting all of this fabric. I thought, oh well, I'm gonna you know, make one for my cousin as a wedding present. And so I just bought a whole bunch of it, because that's what I do. I buy literally bolts of fabric at a time. And so this became one of my colors here just recently. And no surprise, this is a great seller at the markets. People really love this color combination. So if you're looking for an idea for, you know, a project to sell at a farmer's market, follow along on my channel. I've got tons of ideas, free patterns, free tutorials, and then the links to the actual products that you can use. So I guess if you want to pay me back for giving the free tutorial, shop through my links so I can get commissions off of that. But it's, you know, that's not my full intent. I like sewing, and I really do like giving back to the community. So YouTube has been a great way for me to showcase what I do and meet some new friends, and you know, put some cool stuff up on the internet. And I also have a bunch of posts on there about you know, how to start a small business, because that's literally what I do. And I think sometimes as makers, you know, if you can find somebody that's just a few steps ahead of you so that you can always be growing, you'll grow much quicker if you find somebody to teach you. And maybe I'm not perfect, and you know, I'm by no means the absolute authority on it, but being in business for a few years now, I've certainly learned a few things, and you're welcome to join me along the journey. And if you do, what I want you to do is take pictures of your finished products and tag me on Instagram. Use the hashtag #HomestitcheryDecor, and that way I can cheer you on as well. I should check. Is anybody here? Oh, yeah, there we go. I just wanted to make sure I didn't have any questions or anything for you guys that you wanted answered. So as I mentioned, this one is going to be quite large. I believe it's 40 strips. So 40 2.5-inch strips. And then they're mitered end to end and sewn into a tube around Pellon batting. And then you're here live from the beginning of the rug. So this should be a great tutorial for you guys. I'll tell you how I got started. In case you're new here and you don't know how I got started. Okay, so a couple years ago, it's actually 3 years ago now, I had made 3 rugs for my bathrooms in my home. I really wanted to have a little craft business, but I wasn't sure what I was going to do for sure. But basically, we had this Grey Cup party, which is the Canadian football party. So at the end of the Canadian football season, there's a big game called Grey Cup. So we had a big party at our house. So we had about, I think about 20 people were here. And we have 3 bathrooms in our house. And anytime anybody went to the bathroom, they came out just raving about these rugs that I had made. Like, one lady had her rolled up under her arm and was going to steal one and take it home with her. And so then I kind of thought to myself, okay, well, you know, you do want to change of your life. You do want to work from home a little bit more. You're awfully crafty. What could you do? And so shortly thereafter, I had to have a major surgery. I had a huge tumor, actually, in my tummy, which was not cancerous, but still caused a whole bunch of problems. And after this surgery, which was in February 2019, I was laying in bed and I was so sick. And I just thought to myself, you know, maybe I'll just lay here and listen to some podcasts and, you know, kind of try to find some direction for what I could do, because I was so sick I wasn't even sure I was going to be able to do much of anything. But anyway, I was laying in bed listening to these podcasts, and one of these podcasts said, you know, if you started your business an hour ago, you would be an hour ahead. And that just absolutely hit me. Like, it has stuck with me ever since. I think about it almost every day. And I thought to myself, okay, so yes, you know, everybody that starts a business has to start from somewhere. So I'm going to just start. And I know I'm not well enough to get out of bed, so I'm going to start by just listening to some podcasts and, you know, get myself a business idea. And it very quickly turned to these rugs that I had made for the Grey Cup party, which was probably about 4 months before this surgery had happened. So I decided, okay, I'm going to start a sewing business. And I knew from experience, you know, you need a business name and you need to get traction and all that kind of stuff. So I thought, well, I'm laying in bed anyway, I'm going to think of a business name. So I started, you know, Googling home business names and, you know, how to get a business name and what was the most searched thing for business stuff, or things that girls would like, is the rabbit hole I actually ended up getting on. And one of the things that people search the most is home decor. So if you go to Google and you look it up, you will actually see that people search like financial products and home decor. It's one of the top two things on Google that people search for. So I thought to myself, okay, I've got home and I've got decor, and that is way too general. So I'm gonna narrow this down and have some sort of a, you know, a word in between that could go along with these two. So what I came up with was stitchery, because I knew I was going to be sewing, and I knew just from experience that I have, you know, kind of an old soul. I've lived in like 100-year-old farmhouses for quite a bit of my adult life by choice. And it's just kind of the vibe that I go for. I don't know, identify with it, I guess, is the point I'm making with this old farmhouse decor stuff. So I thought, okay, I'm going to do home stitchery decor. And then I knew a girl that does graphic art stuff. So I had her quickly whip me up a logo, and basically I started from there. So I started with the rugs, and they went really poorly at first. I didn't use good materials. I didn't use good batting. And I thought I could just fake it, right? Like just buy the cheapest thing you can buy because you're bootstrapping this. And, you know, I was homesick and everything. And then as it turns out, that did me no favors. And I quickly got onto bigger, better materials, because I'm like, I'm going to learn this until I learn it. And then I'm going to move on to the next thing. So now I have about 10 or 12 products here that I sew regularly. And what's happened is I started with the rugs, and then once I got those nailed, I added in another product, which was my dish towels. And so I sew all these, you know, cutesy dish towels. They're all a little bit different. Each one has an embellishment that's a little bit different from the next. And then I added in pot holders, I added in crochet dishcloths, I added in unpaper towels for your counter, placemats, dish drying mats, accent pillows, and then I have rice bags, and I also have a bunch of Cricut mandala art that I do. And the mandala files are for sale on the website. If you're not comfortable with website shopping, you can also shop on my Etsy store. It's Home Stitchery Decor, CA. And so that's how it started. I made some rugs. I put them in my bathrooms. We had a party. I realized I was wrong. I can't use cheap material. And so I started using better materials, and then I just systematically added one more product, one more product, one more product, one more product. And now I focus a lot on the digital stuff, which is like making YouTube videos and having digital patterns and whatnot that sell, like my mandala patterns that sell. All, you know, every minute of the day I could get a ka-ching or something on one of these affiliate programs. So, you know, $1 from here and pennies from there, that sure starts to add up after a while. So that is the path that I am on now. So as you can see, this rug is starting to get bigger, and it's wanting to pull a little bit in a couple different directions, which we absolutely don't want it to do. And we've probably got about 10 strips left to sew, and then we'll be done. But I just want to show you guys as this rug gets bigger around these next few corners, how to maneuver them. Another great tip here is to fold your rug. So as you're coming around the corner and the rug is starting to pull or drag, when it gets to this side, just fold it in half. Don't push on it, don't pull on it, just fold it in half and keep sewing until you're on the straightaway. Make sure this has no tension, so pull it up, loop it down onto your lap. And having this flat surface is fantastic. This is a sunken sewing table, and this half of the table over here, actually there's a leg, and then that half will flop down as well. And then over here on this side, if I wanted to, I could equally have this side on its leg over here, because it's just folded down there as well. So the table, I'm guessing, is about 4 feet square by the time it's all opened up. So this really, really, really helps. So whatever you need to do to get your machine onto a flat surface, you know, get your husband to cut a hole in a tabletop if you have to. But the flat surface is the key to this project. You need it as flat as possible. I know I've seen it where girls have like the, you know, books piled up over here and something piled up on the front, but the thing that happens there is the fabric is still pulling up and down. So you do want it to be as flat of surface as possible. So there's, you know, there's great options too, like even on Amazon for sewing tables that are sunk in. And you can line them up to a folding plastic table if you're short on space. So if you buy an inexpensive table on Amazon and then line it up with your, you know, your folding plastic table that you probably have anyway for whatever family dinners or whatever picnics or whatever that you guys do, that's a great way to get some extra workspace for this project. So we're just going to make sure everything, nothing is pushing or pulling anywhere. And we're going to get to this corner here, and we know that the corner was hard and it's heavy. So we're going to give this some extra slack. We're going to fold the rug in half, and then off to the races we go. So if you're in the Calgary area and you want to find out where I am during the Christmas season, you can go to my website, which is www.homestitcherydecor.com. I will put a link in the video description down below as well. And on there, I have a list of local stores and farmers markets. So the local stores are stores that actually carry my products, and the farmers markets are where I actually show up in person. So excuse me, I have quite a few Christmas markets booked. The biggest one this year is going to be the Millerville Ag Society. It's about 25 minutes southwest of Calgary. You need to pre-purchase your tickets for that one. So you can pre-purchase them on the Millerville Ag Society website. There's a link on my website to the actual tickets. There's timed entry. So that's just in an effort to keep numbers down with COVID and to help out with parking there, because often parking at Millerville historically has been not very convenient. Everybody shows up at the same time, and then they're all lined up on the highway for forever, and it takes quite a while to get in there. So with the timed entry and the ticket purchase, you can get in there much quicker. And then, excuse me again, I'm at a market at Mahogany Lake Community Center for one day, which is in southeast Calgary. And I'm also in a market in Cremona, Alberta. So that's kind of central Alberta. Once again, just head on over to the website and you'll see right at the top it says local stores and farmers markets, and you can go ahead and click on that and then pick one that you're at. Pick one you want to come to, and make sure you say hello. Make sure you say, you know, hey, I saw your video on YouTube. Okay, seriously, I'm coughing. I got to get a drink. One sec, guys. Oh, goodness sakes. Good thing I have that coffee handy. Oh, look, and now I've sewn off the edge because I was so dang thirsty. We did this once before. Not very handy. All right, nobody's perfect. Start over. If you go to my website too and you want to support my business and you don't want to purchase a product, you can actually just shop all your Amazon needs through my Amazon store. So not everybody wants to buy a rug, but lots of people do shop on Amazon. So basically, if you go to my website and just at the top it'll say Amazon link. If you enter Amazon through that link, everything that you purchase, they will track, excuse me, and pay me a commission for it. So on my blogs and YouTube videos and stuff, like I'll put a link in for a specific sewing machine. And then if somebody chooses to buy that, I get a commission. But Amazon also gives you like a store name with a generic URL that doesn't link to like a sewing machine product. And anybody that shops through that link, excuse me, I'm dying here, sends me a commission on all of their sales. So there's lots of ways to support your local craft makers. If you know somebody in your community that has a craft business and they're, you know, personal friends and family of yours, ask them if they have links that you can shop through. If you choose to go through my website and go through my Amazon link, all you have to do is click on it, and then it'll ask you to sign in. You know, do you have an Amazon account? Yes, you do. You put your name and password in, and then you can shop just like you normally shop. And if you bookmark that first entry, or come back to my website each time and enter Amazon that way, I get paid for every purchase that you make. So, you know, like when your friends and family are telling you, hey, there's ways to support me that are not, you know, actually buying a physical product, that's how we're doing it. So, and I have links for other products as well, where I'm actually like an actual affiliate for a company called Unique in the Creek, and they sell templates for wreaths, so Christmas wreaths, and I have a couple videos on them and the links as well. So they're you know, they're a small company as well, and they put out a great product where they have these plastic templates that you can basically make any style of Christmas wreath you want on it. And then they've got all the fixings for the wreaths as well. So ribbons and bows and embellishments. So that's another way we, you know, it's all fine and well. I can sew this rug and make money when I sell this rug. And I love doing that. But in order to be profitable as a craft business, I have to be doing all of the things like, you know, creating tutorials, maybe teaching in person, and having affiliate products. You know, I really try to have everything too where it's actual quality products. I don't want you guys, you know, buying something that's, you know, just total garbage. So if I tell you I'm actually using something and you've followed me for a while, you can rest assured that I'm sharing a link to something that's actually a quality item. Okay, so here we don't want to be pushing. You see how it could easily be, okay, well, this is heavy. I'm just going to push. The second you push, the second you get a pucker every single time. So you want, this is where the folding the fabric comes into place, and then this lays down nice and flat. There's a difference between, guiding the fabric, making sure nothing's puckering here, and pushing the fabric into the machine. So absolutely no pushing or pulling. And we're going to sew off center. And oh my gosh, guys, we have like 3 strips left and we're done for the day. Yay! But after I'm done sewing here, I'm going to just check out the comment section and make sure I haven't missed anybody's comments. And if for some reason you had questions about this, you can always leave a comment on the video after the fact, because it'll stay up on YouTube. Or you can reach out to me through my website. I'm super happy to, give some help and, make sure that people are reaching success with their projects as well. Because it's only fun if you take someone with you. Okay, same thing. If you feel it pushing or pulling, you need to adjust what you're doing. So you can hold this up, you can fold it down into, release the width of the fold here when you've got it folded in half. And just gently guide it and let the machine do its thing. Not easy, but with lots of practice, you can do this too. And oh, look at that, I'm out of bobbin thread right at the end of it, and I don't like to do that. I don't like my bobbin getting that low on this project for some reason. I just prefer it to work properly. Okay. I didn't get that in there right. Of course, we're going to run out just at the end of the video and you think, oh, she's almost done. I want to see this. So thanks for being here today, you guys. Sincerely, I appreciate each and every one of you. The fact that you give your time to watch my videos, it absolutely means the world to me. And now the top thread has shredded. Some of this stuff that happens right at the end of the rug too is just the weight of the rug. And then, you start and stop, and I probably didn't check the thread up top to make sure it didn't have a pull when I started this last little end of it. Which it obviously did, because you can see here it's all messed up. I was going to say another word, but we want this to be YouTube friendly. So we don't want to get banned from YouTube. Anyway, you get what I'm going at. I messed up by not checking. And I should have, but I didn't want to waste your time. And I was kind of in a little bit of a hurry. So now I'm going to have to pull thread until we reach the end. Sorry, guys. I'll do better next time. That's the key to a small business. You might not be perfect the first time, but you're going to do better the next time. Oh, look at that. It's all tied up. Okay, pull some of this off. Start the process over again. This machine doesn't have automatic anything. Thread stuck on my hand over here. So I have to do absolutely everything for threading this one. Okay, let's try this again. We're almost at the end. We have one more row. So like I was saying, thank you for being here. I really sincerely appreciate it. Give a thumbs up, hit the bell button. Ask me anything. I'm happy to help. And if you've missed a section on the other side here, so say when you were sewing, you actually missed one of these folded edges, just go back over it. You know, start and stop your thread properly and give it an extra stitch in there because you don't want those, you don't want like a whole line of stuff sticking up on the back side of the rug. Just make sure you flip it over and check for that because it's impossible to see from the front side, but it will make a difference. Make sure you finish your project properly. And I've got a nice taper on the end of this one, so it'll go down into the groove of it here nicely at the end. Okay, that's it. That's it. That's all she wrote. Trim off any extra threads you guys have. And I'm just going to look here to see. All right. Thanks, you guys, for being here. There's the full size of the rug there. So that's about 40 inches long and about 32 inches wide. So hope you enjoyed today's live video, and we'll chat back. I don't even know how to end it, so hang on while I end it, okay? There we go. I found the end button. Thanks for being here for my first live video.